What's up, friends? I hope you're all having a great day. My name is Brian, and you might follow me on Instagram as Brian Adam C. I do a ton of photography stuff, videography stuff. I write and produce music. I love to be creative, and I'm glad you're here at my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be walking you guys through a few of my favorite photos that I've posted to my Instagram feed, and I'm going to be explaining some behind the scenes of each of these photos, the location, some of my creative thought process. I'm really hoping this will help you guys kind of break down a barrier that you might have when looking at maybe my Instagram feed. I think a lot of people might see like my photos and think, gosh, where does he go to find these locations or create these images? And a lot of times I'm actually going like up to my roof or driving literally 30 seconds away to take a photo. So I really hope this video encourages you guys to get out and take cool photos close to your house. You don't have to go somewhere crazy to create cool and creative content. So let's get into this. Okay, I have my Instagram feed pulled up here. I'm just gonna scroll through it and pick a few of my favorite photos and explain them to you. So let's see what we have. I want to start with this one. I really love this photo. I've posted it a few different times, and it's a pretty simple setup. I have a guitar, there's a jar there with some string lights in it. Allie and I are sitting there, we're silhouetted. The biggest thing with this image is that I took it at sunset, and the sunset was really pretty. That's how I was able to get a lot of those colors. And then of course I photoshopped the moon and the stars and the bird. Now the location of this photo is literally like 5 minutes away from my house. It's like this big open field. You can just drive into it, and it's like a free-for-all for photographers. So it's a great place for photos like this, or I've taken a ton of different photos here. So I'm definitely happy with how this image came out. So let's see what else we got here. I actually really like this image. It's a pretty simple portrait of my wife Allie, and she was actually the one who found this location. It's in downtown Tucson where we live, and she just got on Google and dropped the little guy, you know, you can drop him on the street and kind of drive around. She just did that and saw this location with one blue wall and then one like yellow-orange wall, and I had her just stand right in the middle of it and took a shot of her. It was like 2 hours before sunset, so I got some good light coming in and got that shadow. I really like this image. It's simple, but the composition and the colors are something I really do like a lot. So let's see what else we have. This is literally a picture of a bunny in Cannon Beach, Oregon. This was like right outside our hotel, and there's literally bunnies like everywhere in Cannon Beach. I don't know why, but they're there. And this dude was just chilling, and I got my wide lens 16 to 35, and I just went up to him and took some shots of him, and he seemed to like it. I got like less than a foot away from him, I think, to get this shot. And yeah, he posed for me. I took quite a few shots that I wasn't happy with, but yeah, I'm super stoked on that shot. Another shot here at Cannon Beach, literally got super low to the ground. And what's cool about Cannon Beach is it's a really flat, long beach, and so the water comes up and creates this really cool reflection. If you get really low to the ground like that, have your model jump in the air, you can create the illusion like they're jumping really high. Different things like this, sometimes you don't really think to do these kinds of things, but hopefully all these tips will give you fresh ideas for the next time you're out on a photo shoot. All right, let's see what else we're working with here. Actually, I want to talk about this photo. This location is literally like a 20-second drive from my house. It's just this open, long road with the sunset that sets right behind it. I had Allie grab a vintage film camera, which she actually found at a thrift store for like $8. I had her sit in the road and do a hair flip. That's literally it. Right at sunset, the sunset was like amazing that night, and I just set a fairly fast shutter speed. There's nothing complicated about this, but if you have a really good sunset and you can capture movement, it always makes a photo a little bit more interesting. And I believe I used the Canon 85mm 1.4 lens on this to get some of that nice bokeh behind her, and I just like how the photo came out. This image, I love it. I literally bought these maps that you see as the background, bought them from Etsy. I just like Googled vintage maps. If you guys follow me here on Instagram, I've used these maps for quite a few different photo shoots. I hung them up on our wall in our master bedroom, and our pups just laid there and chilled, and I had my wife pose right there on the bed and took a few photos. All that is natural light coming into our bedroom from, hang on.
Oh God.
All that light is just natural light coming in from, we have a sliding glass door in our master bedroom. It's super simple. Yeah, if you can find like cool vintage maps or like retro posters of like, maybe it's video games or like retro movie posters, something to create a cool background, that can always make a boring location, maybe even in your house, really interesting. So try looking for those things. These maps were, I think, less than like 20 bucks. So not super complicated to do. Let's see what else we have here. I really love this photo. It's literally such a simple, more of a minimal looking photo. When I shot this photo, I was like a minute away from my house shooting for Allie, an outfit for her. And I looked up at the sky and this was literally there. So I pointed my camera up and took the photo. I think I might have even used like a 35mm lens, or I don't remember what lens, but I didn't use like a super zoom lens or anything like that. So sometimes when you're at a photo location and it's sunset, look around, look up. You might see something cool that you want to take a photo of that could make your feed more interesting, or just something you're really happy with. It always helps to get into a photo shoot with one idea in mind, but you're open to anything that might happen on the photo shoot. And I find a lot of times that I take some of my best photos that aren't even planned, but they're just there and they happen. Let's see what else we got here. This image here. This image was literally taken like 15 feet up that way on my roof. I had Allie holding a light and then put some string lights around her head, and she sat on the roof and I took the photo. And the background image is just an image that I took of the moon and photoshopped all that background behind her. Really simple image to create. I didn't have to drive very far to make this. I literally didn't have to drive at all, which is pretty awesome. All right, what else we got? Oh, this one right here. I love this shot. And this photo was actually taken right here in this room. Sunlight was coming in through this window behind me here. You can't even see it. The sunset's literally right there through that window. If I open the blinds, light will come in through it. I had some like fake aerosol fog that I sprayed in the room. I took a photo of Allie wearing some like clear glasses. The light kind of hit through the glasses and made this cool reflection on her cheek. And then I took that reflection and photoshopped in some like rainbow colors and then added like all that glitter gold dust around here. Super simple. The before image was kind of boring. I mean, it wasn't that exciting, but with a little bit of editing and then like that, making that like rainbow reflection, this is one of my favorite photos I've taken. This one was taken on my roof. Really easy. Had Allie just sit there and I threw some confetti in the air while I was taking the photo, while she was holding a sparkler, and it was like right at sunset time, and I photoshopped in a bunch of glitter. I mean, this photo just looks like a big party. And I just climbed up a ladder, took the photo, went down and edited it. This one is just another basic sky one. I took this image from my rooftop. Went up on the roof at sunset. The sky was absolutely like lighting up crazy. Took the photo and I cropped it just right to where I like the framing of it. Photoshopped in some birds. There's a few stars that you can see there. That's literally it. This is one of my favorite images for sure. I've probably posted this one like 4 or 5 times. Gosh, there's so many of these that I could walk through and explain to you guys. But let's see. This one here, Allie is jumping on a beach at sunset. I got a bit lower to the ground and I had her jump and dig her feet into the sand, and as she jumped, kind of kick her feet back, and it swooped up the sand like that. So it creates this really cool sense of movement. Obviously the stars are photoshopped in there, but all those sunset colors were pretty much there in the image, just with a little bit of enhancement in Lightroom. Let's keep going here and see what we got. There's that image again. There's that image again. This one was literally taken like 2 minutes away from my house. No, sorry, like 30 seconds away from my house on that same road that I was telling you about. I've done a ton of shoots right there on that road. I got really low to the ground, had Allie do a hair flip right at sunset, so she's silhouetted. photoshopped in some birds, and you get a pretty magical final image. What else do we got here? There's so many here that I'm stoked about. This guy is a really good writer and poet named Atticus, and done a couple covers for some books that he's put out. And he had me do a shoot just to create some promo photos for him. And he really wanted to work with paint powder. We had a ton of paint powder, and I just kind of sprinkled it everywhere in this like alleyway, and had him take the paint powder and throw it like this. Set my shutter speed really fast, like at probably 2 or 3 thousandths of a second, and had it go on continuous mode. So as he was throwing the powder, I was just taking a bunch of photos, and this one came out really cool. All right, let's do a few more. I could probably spend all day here going through like every one of these photos, but I think eventually at some point you guys are gonna click on something else on YouTube. Just gotta make sure my screen record is working. Oh, I gotta stretch a bit. Oh yeah. And how are you guys doing? I hope you're well. I can see you guys over there. I know you're watching me. That's creepy. It's creepy that you're watching me from over there, because like this is my whole set, and then it's whatever. It's fine. All right, let's see what else we got here. This one is cool. This photo was literally taken right inside my house, like right over there. I took my dining room table, like turned off all the lights in my house, had some light come in through a sliding glass door, and then Allie just had a lighter and was like flicking it on. And it's these same maps. I put them on the table. Vintage camera, vintage looking TV. So easy. Just set the, I think I used the 24-1.4 Canon lens and hit the focus right on her hand to get like the detail of the flame from the lighter. The setup was not super complicated. I didn't even have to go anywhere. So when thinking through like creative photography and ideas, try and think just inside your own house. What can you do like right inside your own house? A lot of times you can come up with some really cool stuff. Go to Michael's or go to Target or go to a thrift store or get online and shop for cool props that you can use in your photos. It'll all make a photo idea that much more interesting. Let's see, let's take a look. This one right on my roof, just right up here, I got a waffle cone and some vanilla ice cream and sprinkles, and put a bunch of sprinkles on the ice cream cone. That's my dog. My dog's right there. Hey! And had Allie hold the ice cream cone, and I was literally taking the image and taking handfuls of sprinkles and throwing them in the air so they're like kind of raining down while she's holding the ice cream cone. I got sprinkles everywhere on my roof, but whatever. This photo is taken right on that same road, like 20 seconds away from me. I had Allie hold a jar filled with string lights. You guys have probably heard of string lights before, I'm sure. But literally just take a jar, you get portable string lights, put them in the jar, they light up all magical. And then my mom was in town and she was right outside of frame sprinkling like this glitter confetti right into the jar. We'll do 2 more and then I'll let you guys go home. Okay, let's talk about this image. Definitely one of my favorite images I've posted. I was at a, it was a music festival up in Phoenix, Arizona, right at sunset time. I look over, actually Allie and I were leaving the festival, and I look over and all these people were just standing on this hill like this, and the moon was literally right there, and the sunset was exactly how you see it like this, minus the stars. Those are obviously photoshopped. And the birds flew by and I took the photo. I was not planning to take this photo at all. It just happened, and it's definitely one of my favorite photos I've taken. Silhouettes are just something that I absolutely love to take a photo of, but this one is like, yeah. The moon was like literally pretty much right there as well. I did make it a little bit bigger, I will say that. Made the moon bigger, photoshopped in the stars, and then the birds might have been slightly placed different, and then I just made them like right where I want them. A lot of times you have like a moon and it's slightly off, just get into Photoshop and you can easily use like a clone stamp tool and move it over and then erase where you didn't want it. Like simple things like that you might not think about. And it's one of those things for me that if it helps the composition of the photo and like where my eye is going and looking at the photo, then I'm gonna do it. This photo right here, maps, string lights, paint powder. And I set the paint powder on Allie's hands like that in a way that it kind of looks like a rainbow colors, and definitely one of my most favorite images I've taken. Again, I could spend like all day doing this, but I hope that at least gave you guys a little bit of insight into how I think through some of my photos creatively. Again, a lot of these creative photos, I didn't have to drive to some crazy place or spend a ton of money. I mean, maybe most would be like 20 or 30 bucks on like props and stuff. So I hope this encourages you guys to try different things and just try taking creative photos even just around your house, close to where you're at. So be creative, be inspired, and feel free to give this video a like if you liked it. Feel free to leave a comment if you want to see any kind of tutorials on any of the photos I went through, and subscribe to my YouTube channel because I have a goal to put out a video once a week, and I'm going to say that now so you guys can try and keep me accountable, but I want to do it and I will do it, and I know I don't sound confident but I'm going to do it. Yeah, see you guys on the next video, which, hey, will be in like a week. All right, peace.